Just ahead on American Sunrise, President Trump had a wide-ranging interview on 60 Minutes last night and touched on a wide variety of topics, too. If you missed it, don't stress, because you know we will have analysis for you throughout the show. Plus, funding for SNAP benefits has run out. Will Democrats agree to reopen the government now? And if not, how long will this shutdown, this Schumer shutdown, go on? We have the latest for you. Also, Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba on the recovery stage of the Hurricane Melissa and the aftermath in moments. How faith can guide them through these tragic times. We have all of these stories, so much more as American Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Gina. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. Let's bring in David Brody. He's in Washington, D.C., and Emily Finn, who is here with me in West Palm Beach. Terrence is off today. Good morning, you two. Good weekend, good Halloween,
morning.
good, I don't know. Did you have a good weekend?
Great weekend. Yes, Halloween. Best holiday of the year. You know, I'm very rock and roll, and so I love a little bit of horror on a weekend.
Oh, got it, got it. David Brody.
Nothing quite like horror. Yes, I'm sorry. What was that, Gina?
I just wondered if you had a good weekend.
I did. I was up very late last night. Don't feel sorry for me, Argentina. I mean, it was, I think I got to bed at 1 in the morning. I'm a little punchy this morning, so I want to apologize. I went to the Commanders game last night with my daughter, a little father-daughter date night. They got trash, and Jaden Daniels, their starting quarterback, is basically out with a dislocated elbow. He bent his elbow back. Oh, it was disgusting.
Ouch.
Anyhow, yeah, we were 13 rows from it. So there was that night. A fun little father-daughter night where we saw a dislocated elbow. Back to you.
That's awesome. I must say, David, I love that. I'm missing my dad like crazy. He's up in Michigan. I think I'm going to go home and see him this weekend. So I may have a father-daughter date in my future as well.
Do it.
For sure. We had President Trump was here, of course, for Halloween, and then my family decides to host the after party without really asking my permission at my house, and so that was a 4:30 a.m. ordeal, and then I had to go to South Florida to do a speech for the Reagan dinner, and the No Kings folks showed up, looking like Halloween was continuing, right, to protest my speech, and so. That was my weekend. I'm ready to come back to work. All right. A lot happening. Among other things, Trump said over the weekend, Maduro has treated the U.S. very badly. He said on 60 Minutes, he does not see war. Listen.
Are we going to war against Venezuela?
I doubt it. I don't think so, but they've been treating us very badly, not only on drugs. They've dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country that we didn't want. People from prisons, they emptied their prisons into our country. They also, if you take a look, they emptied their mental institutions and their insane asylums into the United States of America because Joe Biden was the worst president in the history of our country.
And I mean, Emily, something has to be done about this, because if something isn't done about this, this is what they'll do the next time they have the opportunity, not just Venezuela, but other countries as well. They think this is cute to dump their worst of the worst into our country.
And it's not cute at all, Gina. And thank God President Trump is taking this seriously, as he has been the entire time, as he was campaigning on. These are promises made, promises kept. He is going to keep the American people safe, David.
You know, it's interesting. Trump. It's so President Trump, right? Are we going to war with Venezuela? I doubt it. But you never know. I'll get back to you. You know, I mean, it's like kind of a casual Friday, if you will. But that's the magic of Trump, right? Keep him guessing. And that is the art of the deal.
Yeah.
Dr. G.
I'll tell you guys, he looked great. He looked great on Friday night. He was having a great time. He was right in his element. He looked tan. He looked like he's been playing a little golf. I don't know when, but I think he has. And it was just good to see him back at home here in Florida. Let's check out today's Bible verse. It goes a little something like this. Philippians chapter 3, verses, why can I never do this? Verses 7 and 8. I confuse verses and chapters, okay, you guys? Because when you're reading it yourself, you're not thinking of those things. You're just like 3, 7, and 8. But what things were gained to me, these I have counted loss for Christ. Yet indeed, I also count all the things lost for the excellence of the knowledge of Christ Jesus, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things and count them as rubbish, that I may gain Christ. Yes, what a great way to begin our week, to realize that our gain is losses in him and our losses are gains in him. Are, not is. All right, we're going to get there. It's Monday, can you tell? The government shutdown continues. People want their first weekend. People actually went their first weekend, can't read, can't talk, without SNAP benefits. Funding for SNAP benefits ran out over the weekend, and even some new restrictions were going to take effect. New work requirements were coming in for able-bodied adults, among others. President Trump spoke on the SNAP benefits issue on 60 Minutes. Here's what he had to say.
We are now approaching the longest shutdown in American history.
Democrats' fault.
Under your presidency, we're talking about more than 1 million federal workers who are not getting a paycheck, including our air traffic controllers. You see there's traffic snarls out at the airports now. Sure. This weekend, food aid for more than 42 million Americans is set to expire. What are you doing as president to end the shutdown?
All we're doing is we keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. You know, they've never had this. This has happened like 18 times before. The Democrats always voted for an extension, always saying, give us an extension, we'll work it out. They've lost their way. They've become crazed lunatics. And all they have to do, Nora, is say, let's vote.
For more, let's bring in former White House Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley. Hogan, what in the heck are we doing with 42 million Americans on food assistance?
Well,
I mean, that's the real question.
It's a lot of problems, not just with locales kind of deferring to the federal government, but churches not pulling their weight, synagogues not pulling their weight as well.
Yeah.
A lot of issues there. And as you know, these things ballooned kind of in the 60s and the 70s, where the more people you could get on government assistance, Democrats, FDR, of course, thought the more we can kind of get our hooks into them and control them as political pawns. So it's really disgusting the way this has happened. But a lot of people depend on this program, and we're here now, and it should be supplemental. It's in the name. Not primary, but it has become primary for so many. Lots of loopholes where we're funding the food for illegal aliens, not American citizens, also a problem. A lot of fraud, waste, and abuse in the program. However, it has been funded in full by the Republicans in the House who voted for the continuing resolution funding bill. The Senate, Republicans voted for it there too. It's Democrats that continue to vote against it. So the real question is, why are they voting against a program they have championed and loved for so long?
yeah, great point. Hey, Hogan, I want to move to the off-year elections. Obviously, that's all tomorrow. I'm curious what you're watching. We got the governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey. Then, of course, in New York City, Mamdani. What do you call him, Gina? Kami Mamdani? Is that what you call him?
Yeah.
Kami Mamdani. Yeah, Kami Mamdani. That's really good. You should go to the trademark office with that, by the way. Just a little business tip. And then, of course, out in California, it looks like they're going to redistrict with Prop 50. Anyhow, what are you watching exactly? And what is this whole thing about reading the tea leaves? Everybody wants to read the tea leaves. I mean, my goodness, this is a referendum on Trump. Oh, my gosh. Stop with all of this. Anyhow, please, Hogan, I'll stop. You speak, please.
They can't help but make anything and everything about Trump. Even when they have a socialist, Marxist, communist running in New York, a Democrat-controlled city, long held in the arms of the Democrat Party, been failing from top to bottom for a long time. But somehow this is a referendum on Trump. It makes no sense. Mamdani is something I'm looking at, not because I think he's going to lose. He's going to win by every measurable poll at this point in time. I'm looking for a couple things. One is fool's gold. We always talk about in election years, especially in presidentials. Minnesota, we're so close to Minnesota, and we always end up losing it. Same thing applies to Virginia. We're so close here. We have a chance. We just had Youngkin. We had a Republican governor. We're going to get another one. I don't know if that's the case. It tends to trend rather purple or blue because there's so many federal workers that live there, and they're largely Democratic. What I'm really looking for is not necessarily tomorrow night, but down the road. Mamdani is someone who wants to come in and fundamentally change New York. He hates America. It's obvious he wants to change everything about her. We are, of course, the beacon of evil and the cause of the world's problems all over the place. And he's going to be the one to fix it, of course. That's a lie. We're the beacon of strength and hope and love and democracy and goodness all over the world. But I digress. I'm interested in that old H.L. Mencken quote that says, the commoners, democracy is the belief that commoners know what they want and they deserve to get it good and hard. If New York elects Mamdani, they deserve what they get good and hard. And I hope he enacts everything he wants to enact. And I hate to say that as a conservative because I don't want New York to fail. It's a gateway to so much of what we have here in this country, like Washington, D.C. But I'm telling you, if he gets in there and they run everything he wants to run and they do the things he wants to do and the city collapses, then we're going to be decades before we have another socialist, Marxist, communist candidate that even comes close to holding elected office. I want to see it fail so that the electorate goes, okay, wait a minute. We were kind of duped here. We were given some shiny objects that didn't really pan out to make our lives better. In fact, they made it a whole lot worse. And then we're going to move on from this failed, ridiculous experiment.
It certainly sounds like there's going to be some tough times ahead for New York City, but sometimes you just have to learn your lesson. Hogan, we do want to get your reaction to this Breitbart headline as well. Illinois passes law preventing ICE arrests in courthouse. I mean, this is just insane. Brandon Johnson has been insane. J.B. Pritzker has been insane. When is Illinois going to wake up and vote these awful leaders out?
Also, arrests in courthouses. If I'm not mistaken, courthouses are places where the law is administered to people who have broken the law in the courthouse. That's where you go. And now you're telling me you can't arrest people who violated the law in the very place that's supposed to be the beacon of upstanding law in the country and in this state? It's absolutely insane. The attacks on ICE and the attacks on law enforcement have gone up exponentially since they've begun actually enforcing the laws that are on the books. Congress laments this. Many on the left, the Democrats, are so furious about it. Well, you can change the law. They just won't do it because they know it's politically unpopular. Instead, they'd rather lob insults and gloss over and protect those who attack cops and law enforcement and ICE as opposed to protecting American citizens. This whole thing is egregious. And last night, the question that Norah O'Donnell posed to President Trump shows the bias. I like Norah, but the fact is, when you ask the President of the United States, haven't these raids gone too far? The real question should be, if in fact there have been an instance or two, you guys have cleaned up the streets, this country's a whole lot safer. What do you do to protect, to make sure there aren't any mistakes made? You could ask that question that way. Instead, she tried to make it sound as though all of these things that are happening are just rounding up American citizens and moms and children. And that is absolutely not true. These are killers. They are hiding out amongst those who are also here illegally. And if you're not going to cooperate with ICE, and when the ICE comes into these places, then you're going to have a concentration of folks who aren't just violent, but are also those who've broken the law in other ways, and they're going to get caught up in the wash as well.
Yeah, don't hang around with killers. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Illegal immigrant killers. Exactly.
And they the media never wants to talk about the dead children, hundreds of thousands of missing children of the illegals. And they never want to talk about all the dead children of Americans, or you never see them interview our angel parents either. Hogan Gidley, thanks for pointing to all of that. We can't forget. Continue to hold all those folks in prayer. And Hogan, thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, coming up, we're going to check out the hottest headlines from the RAV newsroom. Also later, New York City mayoral hopeful Zohran Mamdani spoke with President Obama ahead of Election Day tomorrow. Is there anything that can stop a Mamdani win at this point? Well, we're going to analyze just as soon as American Sunrise continues.